This video is brought to you by Craven's Comic Books and Collectibles. Check out their weekly live show, auction, and sale at facebook.com/cravenscomics every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you can check out their inventory at cravenscomics.com. Craven's Comics, for the comics you crave. Please welcome to the program, Carly Pope.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing today?
I'm very well, thanks. I'm very well. I'm just trying to smash some coffee into my face.
That's right. Good morning to you, because you're out there in Australia. You're in the future.
Yeah. Straight up, mate. I know, it is the future. It's Saturday. Can you believe it?
Oh my God. How's the future look? Is it a better day than yesterday?
Hate to say it, pretty grim.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we're good. We're good.
We're giving it all up.
The sun's shining, guys. Sun is shining. We're good to go.
Okay, that's good.
There you go.
Good to hear. So, of course, Demonic is coming to theaters and VOD on August 20th. New Neil Blomkamp film out by IFC Midnight. Got a horror, supernatural kind of vibe to it. Tell us a bit more about it.
I will tell you as much as I can without being sniped by something. I don't know what. But, okay. Well, look, basically, like, I love working with Neil so much, and I was fortunate enough to come under his employ back in Elysium days. Mm-hmm. And there were so many people on that set. It was such a massive production. I think I might have passed him once and said hello. And like, it was a very, I just sort of went, that was a cool experience, but I just figured, that was it, done and dusted. Thanks for the memories, and see you never. But it was the start of what has become a really cool, series of collaborations that kind of began back, I guess it was around like 2015 when Neil started Oat Studios and started doing these experimental shorts that were wild and crazy and mental and creatively really lush. Like, it was sort of a sandbox of creativity. And I was fortunate to do a few of those with him, and we just sort of kept in touch over the years. And he reached out to me last January and was like, I'm kind of thinking I want to do like a lo-fi horror movie. What do you like? Would you be keen? And I was like, yes. Like, just 100 plus, like all the other 100s that come after it, percent yes. Like, just yes. And so it was a very kind of, and then the pandemic hit, and he doubled back on that and said, or doubled down on that rather, and said, I really want to do this horror film now in the pandemic. Like, now that we're shut down, I really want to do this. And I was like, well, if you can figure out how, then just know, like, I'm there. If you can figure out how to, like, at the time, I was very much locked down in Los Angeles. Like, we had curfews, the whole, as much of the world did, but it was very much locked down. So I was like, if you can get me out and into Canada, and if this all makes sense and we can get it up and running, let's do this. And it was this is like this for me, and I know I'm veering very far away from the plot line here.
That's okay. That's all right. Keep going.
But it was, it's like the spirit of filmmaking that I couldn't love more, which is like, everybody's involved. Most people are wearing a million hats. There are not many people on the crew. There are not many people in the cast. It's just sort of like a community of like-minded renegades that just want to make it happen and do it. And that's the kind of, like, I love that. And in Canada, that's sort of like how I came up, was doing indie films like that, like 12-day shoots, or, something just unbelievably fast and furious. But it's so it makes for such a kinetic, alive, really enjoyable, immersive experience. And that's something that, again, like I back Neil to the end of time, because I'm like, I just believe in the fact that he just wants to make film. Like, he just wants to make things. And that to me is an easy yes, for sure, to be a part of. So anyway, so getting back to Demonic, it was, I think we had a finished script like probably the day after we wrapped. And this is, again, I just, Neil, I think, loved the 11th hour changes, because he loved to watch me like projectile sweat about what I was going to do with but that was the thing. It was kind of like, it was a very fluid, organic experience of going like, let's figure this out. Let's find it. All I knew is that the chick's name was Carly. So that made it easy. I didn't have to prepare for anything. And it was, and I knew that we were going to have this really cool, really crazy visual component, which I do believe I'm allowed to talk about, which is the technology that is incorporated is called volumetric capture. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but
I haven't heard of it, no.
It essentially, so we had to do these 3 sequences that are in this world of volumetric capture, that when you shoot it, you're in like a ring, like a 5 meter, it was either 3 or 5 meter. I think we did both, but 3 or 5 meter ring. And there are something like 260 cameras in this ring around you, so that the cameras are capturing information from every single place, so that it can render it can render like a 3D image, and then you are all that data is then put into like other real-time environments using a technology called photogrammetry. So it was so crazy. I mean, it's way above my pay grade to understand exactly what it is, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was so wild and so cool. And that's the type of stuff that, again, like, I tip my hat to Neil, and I also entrust him with those things, because I'm like, I know there's going to be this, and I know it's going to be cool, and I know it's going to be satisfying to see the finished product, because it's very wild. But it was so some of like the most emotional content of the film is shot in those worlds, and it was such a trip of an experience, because you're having to do this like incredibly emotional acting in a very, very technologically heavy environment. So it was like such a crazy disconnect between going like, I have to emote, but like there's like buzzing of a million like computer drives and cameras, and like there's so many bright lights. Like, it was just a very, very strange experience, and I am here for it.
I got to imagine, by comparison to like The Good Doctor or Suits,
or even Arrow, which is
even
still
Arrow
got a little bit of a technical stuff to it.
But like, that's like what you're describing is so like polar opposite for you as an actor. What for you though, like as your process, with all of that technology, did you find that sometimes distracting? Like, or did you, after like a few days of it, you're just like, meh, whatever?
I mean, it was like the most distracting. But we just like, you had to do it, like right. It was, and the cool thing was we had gone and toured the real environments that like our avatars were going to be placed into, right? Oh, okay. So we had like a concept of what the houses looked like, or like where the doorways were, or where the stairways were. So like, I already had some muscle memory of like, right, okay, this is where you walk around the corner to go into that room or whatever, you know? So there was a little bit of that. But that said, again, we're in like a 3 to 5 meter space where there's like makeshift stairs or like, you know, like, oh, that's a bridge. That's a, like, what? That's a drain pipe. What? Like, that's, you know, you just have to really utilize your imagination. And I think since the first film I ever did in Romania, a Canadian-Romanian co-production called Aliens in the Wild Wild West. Don't look it up. But not since I think that experience have I had to imagine things as much. So it's kind of full.
Gosh. No, that's crazy. Well, it's kind of interesting because, like, based on what I gather from the trailer, you know, that kind of disorientation probably added to the performance when you look at the character in the film, how they're kind of dropped into these different atmospheres and are kind of disoriented as well.
Well, and that's a very good point. Like, I mean, half my work was done for me, just case in point, because it is this sort of like unusual place and experience and sensation. And we wanted to try to create as visceral an effect of that as possible, especially because it's like this kind of digital weirdness. So it was really important to try to be like, right, like you have to, like, I have to experience that as much as possible. So there was that sense of there was a gift in that it was so strange, because it did kind of create this like, okay, right, you know, I don't have to go full Meryl on this. I could just like, I could just realize that like, this is weird. This is a weird environment. I don't know where I'm placing my foot right now, for instance, even though I know it's a final product. Yeah.
That's crazy. We got some emails that just came in. One from Elise B says, Suits, you were brilliant in Suits.
Oh, that's very kind.
And then we have another one from Brenda D, who writes in, SWAT firefight rules. I watch that film 20 times a month. Carly is awesome in that. And then
Brenda
also goes on to say, for our next segment, which is our review of A Quiet Place 2, hey, my rating for A Quiet Place 2, I liked it. I would rate it an 8. Thanks, geeks. Well, thank you, Bretta.
Oh,
Bretta, yeah.
I liked it. It's an 8. Oh, sure, why not? But lots of love for Carly, you know, like
Sorry, just to be clear, SWAT firefight.
Yes.
Sorry, right.
SWAT firefight. That's right there.
Yeah, that's again. It was that was a special film. I'm very grateful to have been a part of.
Of course. Oh my gosh. Now, I heard that it was just announced recently that Demonic is actually going to be opening up Fright Fest in London on August 26th.
I just saw that as well. It was very cool, and I'm just sad I can't be there for it. It's very, very cool though. That's amazing.
Well, that's the kind of the weird thing that we're in like as we transit. Well, maybe transition. I don't know. I can't say post for sure. It's not post pandemic.
Yeah.
But
as we move around.
Yes. This floating barge of whatever the pandemic is. It's still that weird thing where it's like every once in a while I keep thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, we just go to no, we can't go to the theater. Okay, yes, we can just go to the mall. No, we can't go to the mall right now. Like, you know, or conventions or film festivals, right? Like, what do you do?
Let's just call it a garbage barge and be done with it.
I was still trying to be a little optimistic, but if you want to go ahead and call it a garbage barge, it's a garbage barge.
A garbage barge floating down the river Styx. There you go.
On fire. On fire.
Which is the best way to see Demonic. Yes.
Yeah. But
fearing for your life while you watch a movie. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, that real experience. We're just sucking it to you left, right, and center.
Oh my God. Now, you know, you've worked, as you mentioned, you've worked with Neil a lot, especially over the past few years.
Yeah.
And what would you say is like the best quality of his directing? Like, what makes you feel the best as an actor that, you know, that comes from him?
That's a great question. And I mean, I think that like he is such, he's got it all in his brain. Like he like has it in his head. There, he's very much able to do things spontaneously on the fly too, but he knows what he wants. So I think like first and foremost as an actor, having a director that knows what they want is just like, it just creates an envelope of trust, which is amazing, because you don't have to second guess like why you're doing something, or you don't have to communicate about those things. You just do it because you know that the vision is there. So I think that that's something that I really respect about him. And I feel really safe with him as an actor because of that, because I'm just like, right, I trust that you know what you want, what you're doing. But the other thing, and this is more, you know, this is more anecdotal, but like he loves to have a laugh, and that is the best because it diffuses, you know, all the other nonsense. And like the lady doth profess too much perhaps, but it's it's something that I feel was sort of just understood as like implicit code that like no assholes are allowed, and like on his sets. And that's it. It's true, and it makes for an incredibly enjoyable experience, because it's like that, you know, that you're going to be around people that are all, you know, cut from the same cloth, have a similar sense of humor, and just want to get the job done. And like, and there's no bullshit. And can I swear on this?
Oh yeah.
You can say whatever you fucking want. Whatever you fucking want.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
But it's but yeah, that's the thing. Like, especially with something like Demonic, for instance, okay, that I've never done a horror film before. This is my first time like actually involving myself in this genre, and I'm someone who's afraid of the dark, like no shadow of a lie. So I didn't know how that was going to be, you know, when you're living and breathing this kind of like guttural world for a period of time. I didn't know you know, how that was going to be, and how much stamina I would have with that. You know, like I was sincerely worried that I was going to here it is, shit the bed. But it was, you know, like I was genuinely not sure how I was going to muster up the emotional energy to kind of keep it up. And it was this, I don't know what, there was like this weird cosmic hurrah that happened where we would be like practically on the floor laughing. And then I'd go into like a crying scene. And I'm not saying this as a pat on my back. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying Neil's like a wizard or a witch or something, because there was the energy that was there. And in all honesty, it really is just, I think, because there was this cloak of trust and safety, it was just easy to flow between that kind of emotional energy and emotional space. And that was something that, like, I mean, that was something that was so liberating as an actor, but also just like such a gift. And again, so to answer your question very long-windedly, my apologies, is that I think like that's something that I really admire him for, is creating an environment that is so like loose, but also that is so, it's like, it's a weird thing of being like loose and intact all at the same time, but it works. And I love working with him. So.
Well, now that you've said all that, now I'm really curious, because you're so afraid of the dark. Are you like, and I don't know if you normally watch your own work, but will you actually take a chance and watch this? Now, obviously you were behind the scenes, so you saw how all the the sausage was made, as it were.
Yeah.
But like, I'm assuming that you're not a really big horror fan to watch, like to go out and like watch horror movies.
Well, what's funny is I actually do really like horror films.
Oh, okay.
I actually do really like them. I just have to be like, I just can't be alone in my house at night by myself.
All fair. That's all very fair. Do you do that? Do you do the hands over the eyes and be like, can you tell me when it's over? Do you do that? Or
no, like I want to feel it. Like I want to.
Oh, okay.
There's definitely some like masochism in there or something. Like there's definitely some, but it's no, it's just it is. It's a weird thing. Like I used to sleep. This is way too personal, but I used to sleep when I was a kid with stuffed animals around my body.
Okay.
Because I thought if I got stabbed through the mattress, the knife would hit the animals first.
You know what? There is some serious logic there that I cannot argue. Oh
man! So you made a stuffed animal vest. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I mean, the thing that what an unkind person that I was sacrificing them first, and also what an asshole that I didn't trust my parents enough to like lock the doors at night or something.
So what you're saying here is that you've had trust issues since you were very young. That's interesting.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. So, so trust is important to me. Swinging right back to Neil, trust is important.
Definitely. So at no point while you were working with Neil on any of the projects were you afraid that he was going to stick a knife in your back, and that's good.
No.
That's good.
Yeah. We're pals. We're good like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think what you should really do, Carly, I think, acting's fine, like all that Hollywood stuff. That's cool. Side business, stuffed animal vests for little kids.
Stuffed animal vests for little kids. Yeah.
I'm into it. It's so sick. It just might work.
That's right. And that's the tagline. That is the slogan for the company.
Yeah. You could even call it portable Pope-mobiles. That's,
cute. Do you remember those things do you remember those stuffed animals called popples?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's like that. Like if I could create like a popple that transforms into a vest.
There you go.
I'm seeing business possibilities here, Carly. This is very good.
So when you say when you get back from Australia, the three of us go on Shark Tank. We make this a business. There we go.
Totally. I love it. The side hustle. I'm into it.
Oh, well, Carly, it's been fantastic talking with you, and we really look forward to Demonic when it comes out, as opposed to Demoic, which is what I tweeted earlier this week. That's the sci-fi channel version of the film, because they always got to be like, it's going to be really close.
Yeah. The ratings version. That's Demoic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ian Ziering is going to be amazing in Demoic. It's going to be awesome. All right, but anyways, Carly, thanks so much for coming on. I hope you have a great Saturday out there in sunny Australia.
And you guys have a happy Friday night. Thanks again for welcoming me onto the show. It means a lot, and I appreciate being
anytime. Here. You're welcome back anytime, Carly.
Thanks so much, guys. Take care.
Have a great night.
Bye.